On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks beat the Washington Wizards, a bounce-back game for the Mavericks. What did it show us about the Mavericks? And who stepped up? We'll talk about that and more on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks.
Mavericks, NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Loyalty never fades away.
And welcome. You are Locked On to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager, Locked On Podcast Network, where we let it ride. Thanks for being part of the show, making Locked On Mavs your first listen today, where the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day and to comment anything below. Comment below. Say one thing about Dereck Lively.
Just one?
Today's episode is brought to you by Jase Medical. Empower yourself with the purchase of a Jase case, providing you with a personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50-plus infections. Get yours today at jasemedical.com. That's J-A-S-E medical.com. And joining me, the post-game prodigy. What you got for me, Slightly Biased?
Feeling relieved, feeling good. It would have been dangerous if the Mavericks lost this game. Thank God they didn't.
The vibes would have been so bad.
They would have been horrible. I mean, they would have been like delete. Just don't go on social media for the next 2 weeks.
No,
levels of bad.
avoid it. Avoid it
Yeah.
all. Throw your phone into a creek.
Yeah, just focus on another hobby for just a little tiny bit.
Yeah, it's like maybe go get back into the NFL for a little.
Yeah,
for a little while.
The stars are good for the Dallas people.
Go to a hockey game. I don't know. Go to a concert. Something else. But hey, we don't have to do that today. The Mavs won this game. Kyrie sat out. The Mavericks lost their game to the Pelicans in a real bad way. And so in this game, we got to talk about just the bounce back. The Mavericks needed to go in this game and take care of business. That's same way for a lot of the start of this season. We've heard some people say, well, the Mavericks haven't played anybody this season. I don't care. You got to take care of business. They did not do that last year. Like, it's got to be one test and then the other, right? The first test to me was, can you take care of business? Is your floor at a certain point? Are you a good enough team to where you beat these teams? The Wizards, the Hornets, the Grizzlies, who are bad right now, the San Antonio Spurs, even the Brooklyn Nets. Like, do you beat those teams, right? And now the Mavericks have answered that question through a big portion of this start of the season. Starting 9-3, the Mavericks win this game tonight and take care of business on a second night of a back-to-back where they traveled.
Yeah, no, and Falwell tweeted out something earlier that the winning percentage in the last 2 years for teams that travel on a back-to-back, on the second night of a back-to-back, and lose an hour was like 30% or something crazy like that. Because it's just so difficult. And, you know, the schedule, I was looking at this earlier today because I was like, our schedule's been really weird. Just looking through it. And yes, the opponents might not have been the most difficult, but the travel schedule is insane. They've only had one back-to-back, like one pair of back-to-back home games so far this season, and that'll remain the case through November. Just a very strange, like, travel schedule so far for the Mavericks. So while it might not be like the most difficult opponent-wise, it's been hard travel-wise, and I'm sure that's part of the reason why you saw like such a horrible night last night, just from weird, tired legs and travel. I'm just trying to give them some bailout.
Yeah, it was a weird where it was the second game and a 2-game like homestand for the Pelicans there against the Mavericks. Yeah. That Pelicans team was at the end of a 5-game losing streak, so they had a lot of pent up aggression that they took out, not on Bourbon Street. They took it out on the court.
Yeah,
and then now the Mavericks play this game. There's a lot of people to shout out. There's a lot of we'll go through a lot of them. We'll talk about Dereck Lively. We'll talk about Tim Hardaway, and we'll give an update on his injury and all that. This Wizards team is so bad.
They are horrible. Oh,
the defense coming in, according to Cleaning the Glass, is the 29th defense, and like I think they oversold it.
Who is worse than them? I need to see with my own 2 eyes. Houston. What? Oh, wait, this is last season. Sorry, I'm looking at last season's. I was about to say, wait a second. No, Charlotte. Okay, that makes some sense, I guess. But
yeah,
man,
that defense is just very bad. Like, gone are the days of. Do you remember all of the all the DMs and all of the mailbag messages where people would say, "Do you think the Mavs could get Daniel Gafford? Do you think Daniel Gafford would be the center that would fix the spot?" And like tonight, you saw it firsthand. He had a couple of decent plays, but you saw it firsthand. Like Dereck Lively outplayed him thoroughly, and like the Mavericks are a step forward in this and have the center that they really need.
Yeah, no, well, and everyone's because I was one of the people who was like, Gafford would be cool. I mean, he would have been an upgrade over what the situation was at the time. But yes, Lively already looks better than Gafford, and I think maybe that just kind of goes to show that you have your elite cream of the crop centers in the league, but then outside of that, it's a big kind of jumbled mess in like who's like 7 through 15 in center rankings. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing 7 out. It might even be less than that. It's like really the top 5 outside of the centers. But and Lively, man, he's looking incredible. Would much rather have him than Gafford, obviously. So good in this game. But that was the one thing that's the first thing that stood out to me was just that he outplayed them on both ends of the floor in a lot of ways. He got blocks. He contested at the rim. He got a bunch of rebounds early. He played under 24 minutes in this game. Like Kidd decided not to play him in the fourth quarter in garbage time even. Okay. I need theories. Okay.
Because I try to think like Jason Kidd sometimes. Like, all right, let me put myself in the mind of Hall of Fame point guard and current coach of the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd. Let me put and I think, why are they not giving Dereck Lively minutes in the fourth quarter? Like just to play it out, right? Like a rookie center.
Yeah.
I can't get there. Besides they don't want him to get injured. Like that's the only thing I can think of.
I think it's that. I don't know. I don't know why Luka came back into this game, especially
that's the thing that gets me. Dereck Lively didn't play the fourth quarter, but Luka came back in the fourth quarter.
Like the game is over because this wasn't what I forgot. Was it the Clippers game where Luka kind of checks back in the fourth, and it's like a 14-point game. That one was like, all right, like the Clippers are going on a little mini run. Like let's just stop the bleeding and win this game. This was like the game was done.
They were up 24 when Luka came back in with 6 minutes left.
Already hurt his knee. And if I'm a coach, I'm like, all right, just pull everybody out of this game.
Yeah, right.
You know, like let's just get out of here with no more injuries. And then Luka comes back in. Yeah, I don't know why Lively didn't go back in. Maybe they just wanted. Maybe they just wanted to get Richaun Holmes out there. He played 2 minutes, so that couldn't have been the reasoning.
Well, they went small instead. They decided like, hey, let's try out this small thing a little bit.
Yeah, maybe they were experimenting with that because the Wizards still had all of their guys out there until like the 2-minute mark, maybe.
So maybe they're all their guys. I can't.
Anthony Gill played like plus 10 minutes. I think that tells you all you need to know.
It was hard to tell the difference between the Wizards guys and their bench guys.
Well, Danilo Gallinari, I forgot he was in the league for a second. He's wearing number 88. Like it's just all really bad there.
Do you think Markieff Morris went up to him and was like, dude, great idea? He's just a huge Cowboys fan because he was like, I should have got 88.
That's so funny. 88 is just a hilarious number for the NBA. I don't like it.
Well, that's what everybody said when Luka picked 77, but here we are.
But see, I think the thing is if you're good enough, you can make any number cool.
Okay.
Because you think like is 41 that cool of a number, but now we associate it with Luka. And it's like, 41 is a cool number.
No, 41 is Dirk.
Oh yeah, Dirk, my bad. You guys know what I meant.
Well, welcome to the Daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. We know everything about the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah,
including the numbers of the best player in franchise history and the current best player on the team.
Luka Doncic, that guy.
Among the things that we know, just a bounce back game. Like honestly, that was my big takeaway in this one is the Mavericks needed to come in, take care of business, and honestly, one of the big reasons why I think they took care of business is they didn't take their foot off the gas, which maybe is part of why Jason Kidd kept putting Luka back in, like in the fourth quarter and even. But this team was really unselfish in this game too, and that's a trait I did not see in this team last year.
No, I think this team last year does not come out like they did tonight. I think they walk out of the gates again, sleepwalking and struggle. Maybe they get like a 3-point win or something, and we're just like, wow, that was ugly, but we needed to win. But I mean, what it boils down to again, last night's game against the Pelicans, 7 turnovers in the first quarter that they pretty much all led to transition points that dug you a deep hole immediately. Tonight, 10 turnovers in the entire game. Wow. So just a big, that's really what it boils down to. And of course, the Wizards don't have the defensive personnel that the Pelicans were trotting out there last night, but still the team just played much better. They executed better. The energy was better. And that was pretty much what we were harping on last night was like the energy was terrible last night. It was just really bad. The effort wasn't there. And tonight it was on the second night of a back-to-back, which just goes to show that they can turn it on whenever they want.
Shows the signs of a mature team, shows the signs of a team that believes that they, are better and can win. And that's what we wanted the Mavericks to show. Show us that you believe that you're better and believe that you can go out there and do the things that are necessary. They're playing unselfish. They played with the effort, like you said. And man, it was huge. Let's talk about Luka, let's talk about Dereck Lively. Let's talk about their impact. Obviously, Tim and all that. We'll get into that coming up. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds and lines. Go check out FanDuel. See what they have available for you. Okay, I got right now. I got Cowboys. What's the next game the Cowboys play? On Sunday, they play the Panthers, right? They are right now a 10.5 point favorite against the Panthers on that one. Also, right now, if you want to put down money on the money line, put down $5. You can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. So put your money on the minus 560 money line on the Cowboys. Maybe not that one. Maybe pick a different one. You have a chance to win some more money on with that one. But you'll get $150 in bonus bets if they win that game anyway on the money line. So check it out. Check out FanDuel.com/LockedOn. It's not just NFL. They have NBA lines as well. All kinds of things. Futures, in-game, parlays, all things that you can do on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn, the official partner of the NFL.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks everybody for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, listening every day. If you want to support the show, text me, get text alerts from me on Mavs rumors, game day stuff, all kinds of things. I'll do a film breakdown on one of the quarters from tonight's game. Text the number 214-643-8637, and you'll get a subtext subscription where you can get all that stuff. All right, Slightly. I think it starts with Luka Doncic, too. He came out and was just much better in this game. I mean, even in the first, 4 minutes, Luka came out. In the first quarter, he finished 13 points, 3 assists. You can just tell right out of the gate, he's like, I've got to be better today. Like, I have to come out, and I have to make up for what it was that last game was, because it was just a debacle in that one. And he was so much better early on in this game.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked whenever 7 of 18 is what he finished, which that's not like an efficient shooting night. I mean, 26 points on 18 shots. We'll take that. That's perfectly fine. But I guess I don't remember where his like shots stopped dropping, because he went 4 of 7 in the first quarter, 13 points. But again, it was just, okay, the rest of the game, his shots weren't dropping. Maybe he made 3 shots the next 3 quarters, but it was still making great, passes, getting back on defense, not getting burned in transition. Those are all the things that we talk about. It's just like, he's not going to shoot 75% from the field every game, but he can impact the game in so many different ways. It's just getting to the point where that's the consistent thing. And it's completely fine to call him out when it's not happening. But tonight he was really good. The energy was great, and the team fed off of it. And, I mean, some of his passes tonight were absurd, and that Luka Lively connection in the third quarter. Woo!
Oh, just the way he can pick apart defenses with his passing like that, and just makes you freeze. And Lively, they already have that chemistry already to know, all right, go up for it, or go this way, or some of it's chemistry and some of it's just Luka being a genius, and Lively just being like, all right, I'll just keep going, like just keep going, exactly. keep going, keep running. It's like a quarterback telling a wide receiver, like, just run, like, F it, Jamar Chase is down there somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, just go for it. And Lively just keeps going for it because he's got that, he's got that dog in him.
He's got that dog in him. Oof.
But Luka much better in this game, picked him apart with his passing. And also, we got to give him credit on the defensive end. I thought he was pretty good. Yeah, he held his own. He held his own in a lot of ways.
He had some moments in isolation against Jordan Poole where he was just not having it.
You know who didn't have any moments?
Jordan Poole.
6 of 17 from the field, Jordan Poole. 16 points.
That's the problem. I thought this Wizards team would be kind of a fun bad, where you just watch them and Jordan Poole has like 35 and Kuzma has 37 and they're down by 12. There's nothing fun going on here. Bilal Coulibaly was pretty good, but
not in this game.
Outside.
There's nothing fun in this game for the Wizards on this one. Tons of stuff fun for the Mavericks though.
I'm just talking about in general. There's not a lot of fun things going on.
I texted our Locked On Wizards host after the game, and I said, guys, this team, at least you get paid to talk about them.
Yeah, I would like to see their viewership numbers.
They said, hey, at least we'll be good in 4 years. And I was like, which players?
No, listen, I think Coulibaly will be good. But outside of that, I don't know who's going to be on this team.
That's it. That's the only one. That's a tough one. I mean, they are starting from the ground up at this one. Like, the NBA is just too talented. Like, you look at a team like that and say, oh, Poole, NBA champion, Kyle Kuzma, NBA champion. Like, these guys have both got experience. They, can step up and be this next. Can they be ready? Can they be like Mikal Bridges, who steps up and becomes the guy on their team? And, like, they just don't. I mean, you just don't have it. No. It's just not there for them. And so, it's tough for the Wizards. But Mavs, we talked about Luka. Lively. I want to talk a little bit more about his game because he was just a menace on defense. And one of the reasons why the Wizards didn't have any good moments in this game was because Dereck Lively was at the rim contesting. His ability to, and he kind of talked about it after the game, his ability to know when to just let things go because, like, all right, I just got to tip my hat to this player. He just made a great play. To contest, to go after a block, like that kind of timing, it's just so high level for a player, like a rookie player already in this stage.
Yeah, he just does a legitimately great job of contesting without fouling, contesting without doing too much. I mean, Kuzma, I remember hit like a step back three on him like out in the perimeter, but it was just a really tough shot. And I thought Lively did a great job. And that's just the plays that you need to see from him, right? Because it was a make, but it was still just as good of a contest as you could have possibly had there without, did they take a rebound away from Lively? Or did he always have 9?
He always had 9. No, they made a big deal about, does he go back in and get the other rebound?
Okay. I thought he had 10 for some reason. But yeah, no, defensively he was great. Blocked 2 shots, altered many more at the rim. I mean, I don't know how many different shots he altered at the rim. Just a real impressive performance, man.
He did really good on Kuzma anytime that Kuzma was matched up to him. That 3 that you mentioned was the only one that I'd noticed, at least specifically, that he kind of struggled with, that he got scored on really, but he just stood his ground and kind of contested it, and it's kind of that's all you can do. He just turned around and faded away and all that. Yeah. But anytime that anybody tried to get in the paint, or anytime that Kuzma tried to stand him up, it didn't work. And I thought he did a great job on it, man. I'm so impressed with what I've seen from Dereck Lively. The Mavs have their center, man. They've got it, and he's gonna look bad against some matchups like the Nuggets, and it's gonna be a problem at some times, but man, they've got the guy that at least raises their floor that they desperately needed.
Yeah, he's just so impressive in space. I mean, that was the one thing defensively I thought would take way more time. We'd be like, okay, he'll block some shots and he'll have some moments when he's under the rim and he's able to contest, but when he gets out in space, it might be a problem. He's been very impressive in that regard, and it's very encouraging because those are the things that you see and you're like, oh, this guy's contributing to legit winning NBA basketball this early into his career, because a bunch of centers can be shot blockers, but it's what can you do when you're out on the perimeter and teams are looking to hunt you and teams are looking for mismatches, and can you hold your own? The answer for Lively so far, yes.
Absolutely, yes. He also had a moment in the third quarter, about 5.5 minutes left, where he had to break a trap from Luka. Gafford stepped up after a screen, and they tried to trap Luka, and Lively went to the middle of the floor like you're supposed to, gets the ball, turns around, one dribble straight to the basket. I'm like, ooh. Yeah. Yes. Got the N1, got fouling. Jordan Poole flew over and fouled him on that. But that's another level of can you break the trap? We already have answered the question, can he make good passes out of that? The answer is yes. He had 2 assists in this game and had some really good passes in this game out of that kind of action. But can you put the ball on the deck at least once, or do a one dribble and get to the rim? The answer, I don't know. After this one, that was a good sign to me.
Yeah, his pick and roll play. I mean, the passing, that's the thing that shocked me the most so far. And it's like, oh, if Dereck Lively can make passes like this out of a short roll this early into his career, this is pretty advanced stuff. I mean, really. And center is one of the harder positions. It's kind of like linemen in the NFL, where it's just it takes a little bit. It takes a little bit for them to actually reach their peak. You don't usually expect rookie centers to come out and immediately know what they're doing. And Lively is just, I mean, they always talked about how smart he was, but man, he just picks things up so quickly, it feels like. And he just knows where his teammates are going to be in the short roll. Perfect. I mean, it's really brings a tear to your eye.
Can we pour one out? Can we just be like, finally, a Mavs center that we haven't had since Tyson Chandler?
Shout out to all the Chris Kamens, the Zazas.
Wait, should we try to name all the Mavs centers?
Well, I was just doing it earlier, so I'm probably pretty good at it. Willie Cauley-Stein, DeJuan Blair,
Salam Mejri,
Satnam Singh, never got him in it, I don't think.
Satnam, shame.
Yeah.
Oh man, we could also name all the centers that Mavs fans have wanted over the years too.
Gafford would be high on that list.
Pouring out for Daniel Gafford, Rashawn Holmes on the team right now, definitely one
that was a 4-year trek.
Andre Drummond, we talked about yesterday, as maybe coming to the Mavericks. Man, there's just so many. We could just name all the centers the Mavs wanted, and boom, they've got one. And guys, he's 19.
I know, it's insane.
So good. All right, we're very happy about this. We're very, very excited.
They traded back. They got traded back in the draft. Yeah, like
we still can be excited about Omax. I thought he showed some stuff. We'll talk about him.
Omax was pretty good tonight, I thought, in his minutes.
We'll talk about him. We'll talk about Curry. We'll talk about Tim Hardaway Jr. and give an update on him, and we'll do all of that coming up. Today's episode brought to you by Jase Medical. I've got a Jase case, and we spend a lot of time talking about wins and talking about losses, who starts, who sits, all that kind of stuff. And I'm thankful for the connection that we have with the audience. And today I want to make it a little bit more personal with this. Jase helps you in emergencies. You go to jase.com, receive your 12-month supply of daily medication. Use the promo code LOCKEDON at checkout for a discount as well. Jase has 5 antibiotics that'll help you in the case of emergency. They've got a little booklet in here that'll tell you when to use it. If you've got an infection, if you've got all kinds of different things, you can check it out at jasemedical.com. They've got the little guide in there. You know that you're taken care of when there is any kind of emergency. So a verified customer had this to say about Jase. I'm thankful for the service. Supply chain issues had me cut my pills in half, but I was able to get the daily medication that I needed with an antibiotic kit. He feels secure now. Prices are lower than pharmacies. He highly recommended it for anyone. We're going to recommend it as well. Go to Jase Medical to see if this is offered to you on daily medications. Remember, use the promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your purchase of a Jase case. Again, use the promo code LOCKEDON. Jase Medical, JASE Medical.com. All right, Slightly, let's talk about the rest of this game. It's gone on too long.
Yeah.
It's gone on too long. Tim Hardaway Jr. Timothy Dwayne Hardaway Jr., man. He's been a different player. He's just been a different player in the last couple of games, the last couple weeks of the season or so. At the beginning of the season, you started to see it. You started to see, to borrow your phrase, the vision. You started to see the vision with him. Yeah. Where, all right, he's going to be a little bit more aggressive with his mid-range shots. You've got to respect his shot all over the court. And if you got to respect his shot all over the court, it opens up stuff for everybody else. And then he would make really dumb plays on one side, and you'd be like, okay, what is happening? Then he'd get lost on defense. And now, in a game like this, 11 of 20 from the field, 7 of 11 from 3. Of course, if he's hitting his shot like that, it's game over, which it was. But the shots that he was taking, the types of shots he was taking, 3 assists for him too. That's a big deal for Tim Hardaway Jr. 31 points in the game. Got hurt, and 31 points in less than 27 minutes, by the way, which is crazy. He got hurt kind of at the end, and they gave an update. Jason Kidd said that he's fine. He'll be okay. He went back to the locker room, but they checked it out and said he's okay. I find that Tim is down for injuries more that are not as serious more often. Maybe we put him in the Luka category of are they THJ boo-boos? Maybe we do that. That one
was scary, to be fair.
For sure. And he was just checking, making sure everything was okay, but glad to know that he's okay. Jason Kidd said he's fine. What did you see from Tim Hardaway Jr. in this game, man? Because I saw a changed player.
Yeah, he's playing the best basketball of his life at 31 years old. It's just the confidence obviously is always going to be there for Tim, but it's not just on pull-up threes anymore. He's attacking aggressive closeouts. If you're playing too far up on him, he's going to a couple dribbles, blow past you and pull up mid-range jumper. And, when it doesn't go down, it doesn't go down. But I will say his shots have just they look better this year. He just looks much smoother off the dribble, looks more comfortable. He's making better decisions with the basketball. And I don't know if it's just he's in such a zone currently that it's just nothing can phase him, or if it's just something that he's improved on. Because it's, it's kind of rare at 31 years old, you see a player kind of taking some of the steps Tim's taken. But I don't know if the trade stuff really got to him. And he's like, no, I'm going to prove you all wrong. I can do whatever it is you think you're going to trade me for. I can be that guy. I don't know. But whatever it is, it's been great to watch.
We were wondering, and we were kind of concerned at the beginning of the season, his whole thing about I didn't know that. This is the first time hearing that of, him getting traded, him being on the trade block. And he was on the trade block. He didn't think he was going to be here. Mavericks didn't think he was going to be here. Nobody thought, the kid didn't think he was going to be here.
I didn't think he was going to be here.
I don't think Slightly Biased didn't think he was going to be here. Nobody did.
No one did.
And then he probably heard a lot of, Tim can be salary filler. Tim is not a negative contract, but not a positive contract either, right? I wonder if all that stuff kind of gets to your head. He also was healthy through the offseason. Do we have to do the Kristaps Porzingis first healthy offseason? Do I have to take a drink for that?
The bicep curl pictures?
Oh my gosh. But he had a healthy offseason, which I think is notable. He didn't have to rehab, and so maybe that's a good thing in his favor. But man, he's just playing so well. And Jason Kidd has given him that confidence. And even though he's coming off the bench, like it feels like that bench role is really good for him to just come in. He can hit a bunch of shots again. He doesn't have to guard anybody like really hard necessarily off the bench. And so, man, he's been a different player. I've just been really impressed. He hit Lively on a post entry pass, like over the top of Tyus Jones when they got a switch on like some off ball stuff. And I was like, who is this guy? Who is this guy hitting him on this pass? Because that wouldn't be a pass he would make the last couple of years.
That was an impressive pass. But yeah, I think it's time to have a conversation with your loved ones about a Tim Hardaway Jr. Sixth Man of the Year campaign, because I don't really know who's competing currently with Tim. Just
wow.
Just the way he's played so far, I really don't know who else could be in the running for it.
That'd be so funny if like all the Mavericks have a really good season. They end the year and like Luka maybe gets all NBA, but doesn't get MVP. Like there's no other awards for the Mavericks. And like they get a Sixth Man of the Year for Tim
that would be
Hardaway
the
Jr.
most shocking thing. Like if you were to pick out all the awards the Mavs got before the start of the season, I think people would have picked like even a Josh Green Most Improved over a Tim Sixth Man.
That one is not coming. The Josh Green.
That's if there was a different reward, maybe most regret. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh
no,
wow.
No, that was a joke.
Wow.
That was a joke.
Wow. What time is it? What time? 26 minutes in?
Listen, I'm still a Josh Green fan. People just expected him to be something he probably was never going to become. That's
well,
really just the harsh.
We expected him to be Dereck Jones Jr. basically. What we expected. Man.
Well, Dereck Jones Jr. is Dereck Jones Jr.
He has really stepped up too. He hit 2 threes in this game. He scored 20 points. It's like one of those you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, he has 20 points.
Yeah.
7 boards in this one too. A couple of block shots. He was like driving like early in the game. I noticed that he drove on at 3 minutes into the game. He drives right at Daniel Gafford and finishes over the top of him. And I was like, oh God, the Mavs are going to destroy in this game if they can just drive at Daniel Gafford, whatever it felt like. It felt like when players drive at Dwight Powell.
Oh God.
That's what it felt like.
No, don't pour fuel onto the fire, please. You know how hard it is being one of the only Dwight Powell defenders there is.
You and Bobby Crowell need to have a support group.
It's just like, you know how hard it is already.
If Bobby Crowell is one of them, then like there's some others too that defend Dwight Powell. Like you're the only one not getting paid by the Mavs. Defend Dwight Powell like this.
That you know of.
Oh my!
Under the table. No, it's funny because I'll just tweet. I just looked at my Twitter. I was tweeting about the game, and unrelated to anything. Someone underneath there was like, "Well, Gafford's way better rebounds than Dwight Powell," and it's like, well, what do we like? How does Dwight Powell always enter in to the zeitgeist? Like it's just always on the forefront of Mavs fans' minds.
Because he's the longest tenured Maverick.
Yeah, true.
He's part of our soul.
He played 7 minutes tonight. Like, why are we even talking about him? He wasn't even on the floor.
The Gafford thing reminded me of a Dwight Powell play. You tweeted before the game, by the way. You're envisioning a big assist night for Luka Doncic. Bet the house on his assists. He got 10. Does that count?
Yeah, I think that's the over. I think the over is like 9.5.
I didn't check Prize Picks before the game to see if they actually had a more or less projection.
It's interesting though, because the only reason I said that was I thought, well, the Wizards obviously don't have the personnel to guard Luka one-on-one, and then before the game, Wes Unseld Jr. was saying like, oh, well, you got to send bodies at him and stuff like that. It's got to be a team effort. So I was like, oh, they're just going to be blitzing and double teaming and trapping him the entire game, and they didn't really do that.
They did it every once in a while. Like there's that play earlier I talked about with Dereck Lively.
Yeah.
They trapped here and there, but yeah, no, it didn't happen.
Much.
Didn't happen very often. Dereck Jones Jr., I mean, he's just a different player. He looks so confident in his drives, in his three-point shot. Like, he's taking three-point shots now that are slightly contested, which is a big thing. Like, build that confidence up, man. Like, keep it up. So many other players we could talk about this game. Grant Williams did not shoot well. 2 of 7, 4 of 13 from the field. He had 7 assists, though, in this game. I mean, he was like the playmaker out there, and he completely botched a lob that I think he'll never hear the end of. He didn't hear the end of it from Dante Exum on the way down, back to defense on the other end. You could hear Dante Exum going, oh, come on, Grant.
And he airballed a finger roll. He had like a bunch of gimmies in the paint that he didn't hit. And I just think he's surprised that he's even getting some of these looks where it's like, oh, I'm shooting this year? Oh, Like those will fall. I'm confident. I thought he played really well. I really did.
The airballed finger roll was like somebody in the stands had a sniper rifle and like shot the ball in midair, and it was like he just wasn't gonna make that one.
Yeah, the airball finger rolls are always one of the funnier plays because it doesn't make sense to your eyes when the player goes up and it just goes backwards.
He was the classic example of the Mavericks' unselfishness tonight, though.
Yeah.
That he didn't. I mean, he put up 13 shots, but he still, like, anytime he got the ball and he didn't have the best shot and somebody else did, he swung it over and then they got, and they put it up. And so,
yeah,
that was a great game for him. We got to talk about Curry because I thought Curry maybe finally broke out of his little slump there. He had 15 points and he was putting the ball on the deck, and it felt like the Mavericks told him, felt like it was Omax in that G League game where they're just like, hey, just put it up, man. Like, you've got to get out of this because you are not shooting the ball well at all. Like, just put the ball on the deck and start putting up some shots.
Yeah, that was nice to see Seth finally get some shots to go, some patented Seth Curry shots. And then Exum played really good too, I thought, in his minutes. Stats were great, but I thought he played really well.
Only 5 points, but he had 7 boards, 3 assists. He had just some good plays. Like, I love him as the extra ball handler that they need. I love that he's finally filling into that role.
I just love his pace. Tonight.
Yeah.
Just his pace is so good. Wait, what do you think the Mavericks shot at the rim in this game? If you don't know already.
Oh, I saw it on Cleaning the Glass earlier, but it was like less than like 20 shots. It was like a low number.
17 of 20 at the rim.
Oh, right at 20.
17
of 20.
Yeah, they just did not miss when they got to
I mean, like probably half of those are Dereck Lively just going straight. I mean, yeah, he made 7. So yeah, like almost half of those are just Dereck Lively dunks.
I mean, that's an impressive number for sure.
Dereck Lively, by the way, was 8th in dunks before tonight. He had 21. Wembanyama above him at 23, and then like Aaron Gordon, Gobert, and Jalen Duren had 27. I think he may have caught 4, 5, and 6 with 27 tonight because man, he was just throwing them down.
That's interesting. I honestly wouldn't have thought he would be that high on the list, but
he's
I guess
putting down dunks, man.
Yeah,
he's gotten the dunks. Omax's minutes. I thought he showed some good stuff. Like the little things, like him getting fouled. Like he gets fouled a bunch. You saw it in the G League game. You saw it in college. Like he's gonna get fouled on some of those rebounds and finishes at the rim. Like because he'll take it right to the basket. He's not scared. So.
No, not scared. And you could see it defensively. It'll get there. I'm just really hoping if he has a Jaden Hardy-esque rookie season where it comes along in February, March, that really does change quite a bit for the outlook of this team.
And this team is so deep. Like we just talked about, how many players we just talked about? Like 7 that were impressive tonight.
Yeah.
And some of that is because the Wizards aren't good, but some of that is because the Mavericks are just a deep team right now. Like that deep depth that I talked about all offseason is really showing off in games like this.
Yeah, I mean Hardy only played 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's a guy that you would think is higher in the rotation, but it just wasn't like Seth was going off tonight. And maybe like you said, they maybe it was a point of emphasis like, all right, if we're up big, Seth, you need to go out there and put up some shots and do your thing. So that could have been it. I mean,
just get right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Like if Kevin and Reggie on the Fan no longer want to get right, then you go ahead and get right. That show ended, by the way. Those are my guys.
Yeah. Radio's tough, man.
Kevin just got a better gig, I guess. So there you go. Let us know in the comment section. Say one thing about Dereck Lively. I want to know what your one thing is about Dereck Lively. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll have some more stats and info about the Dallas Mavericks this season. And so we'll have one more show this week. And then we'll have 2 games this weekend. Saturday at the Bucks and then the Kings game on Sunday. I think Reggie and I will be on that one. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs. Go check out the Locked On Sports Today stream on YouTube or wherever you can watch live 24/7. It's just all Locked On shows. So you can discover a bunch of shows. You can sample some shows. They've got all kinds of stuff. Locked On NBA. I'll be on the national show tomorrow with Locked On NBA. You can check out the Locked On Dallas one. Again, it's on YouTube, so you can subscribe to that. Locked On Sports Today. Check it out. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom!